15-game winning streak on the line against the Grizzlies at 8 Eastern, as mentioned just a moment ago, right here on ESPN. Good news for Golden State. Steph Curry and company are an NBA best, 13-1 on the road this season. Now let's take a look at the West standings. Golden State is atop the conference at 21-2, with 19-4 Memphis right behind them. Let's consider all things, Stephen A. Is it quite feasible for Golden State to win the West?
It's possible. I'm not going to say it's a long shot, but it's not a short one because of Andrew Bogut, who has to make sure he's not bogus. He has been going the last 3 games. He's had right knee issues, if I remember correctly. Andrew Bogut was brought there to be a defensive presence as a big man on that front line. They don't need his offense. He doesn't have much of one anyway. They'll be fine without him scoring the ball because they clearly have enough of that. I am a Draymond Green fan out of Michigan State. This dude is miniature in size as a frontline player. He's got heart. He's got guts. He's got a perimeter shot. He's got big shot ability in him. I've seen it. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, it is official. They are the best shooting backcourt in the history of basketball. Steph Curry, as far as I'm concerned, if the vote was today, he is the league MVP. He is a superstar. He is box office. He is real. He is legit. He is one of the best players in the game, bar none. There is no question about it. But Klay Thompson is special too, and worth every penny of his $70 million. We give props to our colleague for the ESPN family, Michael Thompson, who's a radio host, calls Laker games with our very own John Ireland, radio host on 710 ESPN LA, and obviously when it comes to the sport of basketball and professionalism, has done an absolutely marvelous job raising his son, because his son can play. He's not only a scorer, both him and Steph Curry, shoot better than 40% from three-point range, but Klay Thompson can defend 3 different positions. And I have to give my props, because you know how much I love my man Mark Jackson and the job that he done for Golden State. As far as I'm concerned, he should have still been there. He should have never been let go, and he should be a head coach in the NBA again. But I cannot deny the fantastic job that Steve Kerr is doing, who would be my coach of the year right now. The way that he has been coaching, and he happens to be an incredibly nice and wonderful guy in his own right. But Steve Kerr is doing a special job. You look at Golden State. Here's what makes them big time, Skip. They actually can defend. Nobody has shot 50% against them this season. And you look at them, and at practically every position outside of their point guard and Steph Curry, everybody's 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". So they're long. They can get out on perimeter shooters. They've got the size, the athleticism, and the foot quickness to defend inside, whether it be the block shots, draw offensive fouls, grab rebounds. They've got it all. The only question is, I can't believe I'm saying this, it's about Andrew Bogut. If Andrew Bogut gives them anything, they could easily be against the San Antonio Spurs or the Los Angeles Clippers in the Western Conference.
David Lee could give them a little something.
Well, not defensively. Offensively, he's good, but David Lee is going to have to show up and earn some playing time, because they're doing just fine without him. And I like David Lee.
He's only played 1 game.
I like David Lee. He's going to have to show up.
Okay, quick point. People did laugh at me when I said before that draft I would take Steph over Blake Griffin. I'm looking okay on that one.
Yes, you are.
I'm with you.
Yes, you are.
This guy.
And I love Blake Griffin.
Listen, really special
Blake
stuff.
Griffin's a star.
He is.
But Steph is Curry. It's special.
And to your point, I'm also a big Mark Jackson fan. I thought this might be a little bit of an early rocky transition. No. And I don't know if Steve Kerr's coming across as more of a good cop. Maybe Mark was a little too hard on him. I don't know, because Mark's a tough guy now.
Yeah,
He's
but it's not the players. I think that there were things on the periphery from an organization that he had to deal with that Steve Kerr doesn't have to deal with at all.
So this team is ranked 2nd in the NBA in offense and 7th in defense. That is a potent combination. Now, just a real quick point, and then we'll run. My Spurs are doing it upside down from the way they did it last year. I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but last year they could not beat a contender, but they piled up wins against all the other also-rans. This year, they're losing to also-rans such as her Lakers last Friday night.
Excuse you.
Well, they do. And yet, My Spurs have already gone out and won at Golden State, and they won at the Clippers, and they won at Memphis, and they won at Cleveland. So when they say, let's go get that one, they are highly capable of going to get that game. Do I think that my Spurs could beat this team in 7 games? I do. Now, maybe it's going to be the 7th game at Golden State, but I remember 2 years ago they won playoff games at Golden State, so they are capable. But this team has arrived as formidable, and I think this team looks like it has conference finals written all over it. Wouldn't you say?
Let me say, yes, it does. It really, really does right now, even more so than my Clippers. But let me also say this to you, and this is worth noting. The San Antonio Spurs are Golden State's kryptonite because you have Tim Duncan and, dare I say, Tiago Splitter to really, really thwart, nullify whatever Andrew Bogut is going to give you.
That's true.
And that daggone Kawhi Leonard, who I think everybody should throw a boatload of money at this offseason. That guy, Kawhi Leonard, if necessary, he can take one of those guys out the game.
He can. Two nights ago, he had 6 blocks and 5 steals.